Hi everyone, this is NB. In this video, we are going to learn about different data types in Python. Without getting late, let's get started. The 5 major data types of Python are integer, float, boolean, complex, and string. We will start with integer. When an integer variable is declared, by default it takes 24 bytes of memory. If you store some value in that integer other than 0, it will take 28 bytes of memory. If you try to increase the variable over the range of the storage, it automatically increases its memory allocation. You can see there are some modules which are imported. This is a system module I imported to get the size of an variable which is declared. To import a module, we need a statement called import and module name. From math, import star. This statement imports all the functions which are included in math module. And if you want to import a specific function from that module, you can use from math, import and the function name. You can import more than one function using from math, import, seal or floor. By this way, you can import different modules in Python. If you want to declare a variable, this is the way to declare a variable in Python. Like you can see the syntax like this. Variable name equal to value. This is the syntax of a variable declaration. Integer is equal to 0. If you execute the program, the output will be 0, 24. 0 is the value which is stored in integer and 24 is the size of memory allocated to that variable integer. If you further move on, you can see that 10, 28. Integer value is 10 and the size of the integer becomes 28. You further increase it. If you take a 10 power 10, you can represent 10 square or 10 power n in this form. The base value is 10 and the power value is 10. In this form, you can represent a 10 square or 10 power n. If you execute them, for 10 power 10, the memory allocated is 32 bytes. And for 10 power 20, it is allocating 36 bytes. The size of the memory allocation will changes based on the value stored in the variable. This is the best part that you can see in Python. In other languages like C, C++, if you want to increase the range of value in the variable which is storing, you need to use long or long int or like that. Whereas in Python, even you don't need to specify int also. That is the major advantage in Python. The next data type is float. By default, in a float variable, if you don't store anything, it will take 25 bytes of memory. If you store 0, it will take that as 24 bytes. If you take 0.0, you can see that the value stored in the float is 0.0 and the size allocated to the variable is 24 bytes. And if you further move on, you can see for 10.1234 the size allocated is 24 bytes and for 1.0.247599 so on plus e power 32 the memory allocation is 24 bytes. So you can say that for a float value the memory allocation is fixed 24 bytes because inside the CPU it uses floating point number representation until 10 power 308 you can use the float data type. The next data type is Boolean. Take a variable Boolean is equal to false. The size allocated for this Boolean is 24 bytes. And if the Boolean value is true, here 28 it's actually. So if the value is true, the size allocation is 28 bytes. See, you can see that. See. For false, it takes as default value and 24 bytes. And for true, it doesn't take as default and it increases the value by 4 bytes. For complex variable, the size allocated is 32 bytes. It is fixed for any complex variable you use, and the value for any range of complex value, the system allocates 32 bytes of memory only. Next, and the last data type is string. In string, the memory allocation is different from other memory allocations. By default, an empty string takes 49 bytes of memory, and if you want to store something in that string, you can see that I stored Jonas in string. It takes 55 bytes of memory. The empty string is 49 bytes, and if the string Jonas takes 55 bytes of memory, and these 49 bytes are used for hashing and length of that string, the details of the string are stored in this 49 bits, and there are some flags which are required by the CPU. Those flags data will be stored in this 49 bytes. When you execute it, you can see 49 bytes of memory, which is an empty string, and 55 bytes of memory. It's a 6-character string, and the size of this entire string is 95. In Python, there is a function called type which returns the type of variable. You can say it returns the data type of a variable. See, the integer type is integer, and the float is float data type, and boolean is bool, complex string. In this way, you can print the data type of a variable. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I post an awesome new video.